Yeah. Off to a really smooth start. Here we go. Welcome. On the About page on the Twitch channel. Yeah.
A bunch of the other new recruits in the the Golden Lotus are just kind of out and about, trying to network, meeting different contacts and people, just as you had done earlier. But before you can make it too much further, a clockwork soldier stomps its way across the floor and holds out a hand to Took. Took kind of beeps curiously at it. And following behind the clockwork soldier is an older human male with a bright teal dress suit on. He pulls his goggles over his eyes as he gets closer to examine Took. And you hear him say, "Dear Creator, what a beautiful contraption this is. Uh, might I ask you, what is he made of?" The gentleman kind of touches Took's side and holds out a hand to you, Marcus.
I what was his name again?
He hasn't said his name to you yet.
Hi, I'm Mr. Rockeford, sorry. Yeah, no, this is just some scrap metal that I found lying around and tinkered a little bit with my friend, and here you go.
Wow, marvelous! Oh, I'm sorry. I am Nikolai Loftus of the Loftus family. We build most of Aeonce's clockwork contraptions, so you must forgive me. But I am filled with curiosity over uh, anytime I see some compelling contraption, um, especially one that might compete against our own. But scrap metal, you say? He kind of like raises an eyebrow. Definitely curious in your description and what he's looking at, because, well, it's obvious. Took is far from what looks like scrap. He might be a little rough around the edges, but everything seems pretty purposeful. He goes and he shakes your hands, but then turns back to Took. Nikolai's clockwork soldier is far more crude and machine-like than Took. His movements are rigid and limited compared to Took's smooth flowing relics. And Nikolai, still observing Took, leans towards you again. Do you have more?
Uh, no, this is all I have. I've actually been searching for more metal like this. It was just random stuff we found in our warehouse.
Your warehouse. You said Rockford, didn't you? I
I did.
I am aware of your family's blimps. It was actually my great grandfather that oversaw the patent. Most impressive. Not nearly like this thing, though. I have only seen glimpses of this technology. You say you came across some of it in warehouses. Okay. You you can see it takes like a long look back at you, back at Took. You
Have you
maybe
seen him before or any metal like this before?
I have, yes, quite. I've taken a few stabs at it myself. Tried to integrate it into our models. He kind of points at the clockwork soldier behind him. You may be onto something here. Steam and gears may not be the way to go. You see, I have a theory that with enough magic infused into these machines, he kind of points at Took, they are capable of life. Could you imagine automated intelligent creatures? As he talks, you could just like see the dreams flowing from his minds. What is it you do, Marcus? Are you just another cog in the family wheel, another Rockeford trader, or
Honestly, I fancy myself a tinkerer. Father, of course, wants me to go into the family business, which is why I'm here. I'm actually visiting the Lotus, to negotiate some new trade deals. But I figured while I'm here, I might as well look around to see what strange and world things the city has to offer.
that is impressive. Trying to expand the family to kind. That's a big ordeal, I would say, but if you have more equipment like this, I'd say it's a gold mine. You could go anywhere. You could do anything. Um, it's a trade business is tough to be in right now. Seems like hardly anyone can compete with the Lorong Trading Company. But if that's not really your calling, I have an idea. Most of my time is spent on building these things to better defend my family, but it seems like this steam power could do a lot more than just that. What do you think? Would I be able to put wheels on this guy, or could you lug trading goods following along some kind of track?
He he, he kind of seems to have a personality of his own, but I don't know enough yet. I need to find more material to see what else I can make him do. I mean, right now, as you see, he's just more or less a man.
I I'd say you're hired. What do you say? Join me in Hyperion and help me turn Took into the first war forged. Who knows? Maybe we
I
could make a vehicle of some sort.
I don't want to seem rude, but I really need to, follow what my father asked me to do and, get settle these deals and get back home. There's a lot of work to be done. But I'll definitely consider your offer maybe in the future.
I see. I too was once shackled to my father's will, being the leader of the Loftus family and all, but that has since been passed to my younger brother. So here I am, exploring the possibilities. Ah, well, remember the name Nikolai Loftus. I'll be looking out for you. I see great things coming from you, Marcus Rookford.
Well, thank you.
And it's about time he gets to this point in the conversation when Nairomi and Clyron had walked over, and they kind of joined the conversation, hearing a bit about what Nikolai was saying to you. And you definitely get the sense Nikolai is he's not all here right now. He's definitely in this dream world where he's basically taken apart, took in his mind and re-put it back together in all kinds of configurations. So definitely a tinker after your heart. You can tell one to the next. So at that point, a bit more conversation happens, and bam, Madame Mitmeyer rams into Tuck, sets off a big scene, jumps on his back, and tries to ride Took around like a steed. And so to make amends, she offers to buy you a drink, and you head off with them, the rest of the party, out about into the city of Kine for some more drinks. And as the night wears down, you and the rest of all of the people who'd signed up with the Lotus, the Golden Lotus, you've all been given board in the Golden Lotus's guild hall, which is like a merchant guild hall, very big building off of the Gilded Street. So as the night winds down, you're able to go there. You got your own room, comfortable space. You and Took can fit in there nicely and bed down for the night. So morning comes easy enough. Anything in your morning routine? Anything you and Took do to get ready for the day? First thing this morning is the briefing, and the signing for all these contracts with taking over the wrong trading company.
Yeah, I would check Took over, um, make sure he's moving all right and not seizing up. I'd also
I
check my own
imagine
personal gear.
I get the sense like Wally does in the morning, like he does this little check over with all of his parts. Like he
Hmm.
moves his eye sockets, moves his his arms up and down, touches his toes, just to make sure he's functioning all right. And you're kind of watching all this
Yep.
and tune things up as it's needed.
Hmm.
Um,
And I would check my pack and my gear, make sure I got everything I want for the day. Um, I
You
would be
certainly have
respectful
a
and
wife.
not be. I would certainly be respectful and not be visibly strapped with weapons, but I'd still have stuff to protect myself.
Okay. Why is that is um Lucas a bit nervous he's gonna get attacked or something?
I don't know.
Or
I'm
you
just in
just
a
like to be
new
prepared?
city. I like to be prepared.
Okay.
It's something I was taught by my mentor.
Yes. So, well, your letter had summoned you to the Merchant Guild Hall at the Golden Lotus. Thankfully, you're in a room just above the guild hall, so very easily after you finish up, you can head down there. And you're kind of brought into like a large, like almost like a lecture hall for at a college or something. They definitely have a lot of meetings, and almost like Aeonce wide trade happens here in this building, in this room. So they bring you in there, and you just kind of take a seat amongst all of your peers, people you don't know, but just other people kind of in the same boat as you. And in comes Mr. Tweeb Ferkeldoot. He kind of wiggles his way to the podium at center stage. Well, welcome, new members, to the Golden Lotus. He kind of wiggles his nose, which is like this big old caterpillar mustache dancing back and forth. Many of you may have heard already, but in case you didn't, you are all being offered high-end leadership positions in the Lorong Trading Company. For classified reasons, the current CEO, Mr. Nigel Lorong, is being detained and stripped of all assets. Likewise, his substitutes are being arrested. I'm sorry, his substitutes are being arrested. You will be put in their place to ensure a smooth transition. Uh, Tweeb, kind of smooth talker, but you could definitely tell he's thinking his words through very carefully. You notice that this has forced a bit of a sweat to break at the top of his receding hairline. And before he can continue, a big crash at the doorway. The doors to the same room that you just walked in kind of fly open, and you see this burly, angel-looking celestial kind of power his way through a few Justicars alongside him. Gloves are coming off, Mr. Farkledoot. You've seen this guy at the party. You recognize him as Bossler. This powerhouse of an armored angel storms into the briefing room. He's wearing a heavy set of golden white painted obsidian stint armor. A pair of armored wings curl behind him and nudge a few senior Golden Lotus members out of the way as he moves towards Tweeb. Flanked by Holy Knights, the three move with purpose to replace Tweeb at the podium. This is not a Golden Lotus operation. The Justicars will take it from here. You can organize your merchants after you take over. After the takeover is complete. At this point, Tweeb has completely stepped off stage. He is out of the way. Yeah, you can tell he's easily intimidated. Thank you for your cooperation, merchants. I am sure you are all aware of the Lorong Trading Company. Nigel Lorong has been found conspiring with the Dark Hand. Effective immediately, the Order is at war with this Dark Hand. The Oracle has decreed it unlawful and punishable by death to associate, harbor, or withhold information regarding the Dark Hand. Since the Lorong Trading Company controls most of Aeonce's trade, it is paramount that we efficiently mount a systematic overhaul of its leadership. There is no knowing how much of the company follows suit with Mr. Lorong's corruption, so we will arrest all forms of leadership and interrogate them until deemed safe. In the meantime, it will be your job to maintain operations so that the trade does not halt. At this point, another whole unit of high-ranking Justicar officers have entered the room and stand along the back wall. Bossler kind of motions to them as he continues. Each of you, after taking your assignments, will collaborate with a unit of Justicars and the swift replacement of the dock managers. They will then be assigned to manage your protection in case of backlash. Any questions? Basler kind of, I mean, his delivery is far different than Mr. Farkledute's, and everybody's eyes are just big. He kind of opens the floor to the business, the merchant guild, and the people around you. Any question come to mind? Everybody else seems a little starstruck. Nobody speaks up. No?
I got nothing.
Okay.
No.
That's fine. That's fine. He just looks around and kind of like with a nod of like, this is the way he wanted it anyway. He says, great. I believe Mr. Ferkledoot has your assignments. We will work on tracking down every boat in the trade route. You will take inventory while we assess the alignment of the ship crew. He kind of drones on and on with tactics and plans. His delivery makes everyone sound everything that he's saying sound life-threatening, and you can see the eyes of most people around you kind of glaze over. He leaves the stage eventually, begins making his way around the room, and you can see Mr. Ferkledoot has begun passing out large files to each of the Merchant Guild members. Everyone kind of skims through and looks to be making arrangements. Eventually, Mr. Ferkledoot comes around to you with a huge envelope. He hands it to you with kind of a nervous smile. Mr. Rockford, I am so glad you made it this morning. You sure made an impression on Mr. Gainsley.
Yeah. So
Do you? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, he seems a little interested in my friend here.
Yes, I think a lot of people are very interested in your friend there. He's an odd one, that's for sure. So you take care of him in the city. It could be a dangerous place for somebody so unique. But
Thanks.
alas, you've got lots of work to get to. So I'll be around if you need anything.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Do you open the envelope?
Yep. I opened the
Okay,
envelope.
so just kind of opening it up, you see inside. There's a contract inside pinning you as the chief or the new chief executive of Barsuk Trading, with compensation set to 200 plat every month. And this is, of course, on top of the sign-on bonus, which was already given to you, which is a total of 600 platinum. So by the end of the month, that's a total of 8,000 gold, with 2,000 gold every month. He kind of stops for a moment, and Mr. Ferkleduke kind of turns to look at you. I'm sure your father would be so proud of you're taking over the major Barsuk connector of the LTC, of course. Barsuk is Kine and Hyperion's most major ore importer. This port is stationed outside of Travenstein. I'm sure you've heard the place. It would be a very important job to take over. I couldn't think of anybody better than a Rockford to take it on. And it's about this time a Bossler has kind of approached behind Mr. Farkledoot. And you can just see the silhouette of Farkledoot kind of drown out behind this armored angel.
Drew.
He says, what?
He's saying he can't hear you.
Who can't hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Jake hears me. Who can't hear
Can
me?
you hear him now?
I can hear you.
I can hear him now. The whole last like 2 minutes was cut off. I couldn't hear a word he said.
Oh no.
Oh no! Did everybody else hear me?
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Heard you just
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, buddy. So basically,
No, that's
Ferkledude explains the port that you're taking over is in a place called Travenstein. It is the major port site for the LTC that covers Barsuk trade, which is the number one importer of ore to both the Kingdom of Kine and the Kingdom of Hyperion. Big trade, very important. Your dad kind of knows a lot about this trade and has kind of told you a bit about it yourself. It's always been the major competitor of your family's trade, but has always far exceeded what you guys could manage. So it is a big deal, a very big amount of trade that's happening. And so while Ferkeldude is telling you about this, behind him approaches Bossler. And he says, "This is a very important job indeed." He's now hovering over Mr. Ferkeldude. His eyes, he eyes you and then looks over to Took. He kind of looks pretty curious. "I know I've seen strange contraptions like this before. Where was that?" You could see Bossler is definitely pretending to think on the subject. He's kind of a man that demands power in the room, so it's a bit intimidating. At least Mr. Ferkeldude looks pretty intimidated. He says, yes, the military archives of the Spino defenses. Funny, I thought everything of this nature was destroyed when the Spinor heretics were dismembered. Or disassembled. And it's as he's kind of looming over you, almost looking for an answer, but he's mostly trying to get his answer, the answer he wants, just by the look on your face. And it is at that moment, I need you to make a Constitution save for me, Marcus.
My Constitution. I don't think Constitution.
Correct. Great. A 1. So,
Wait, a 1?
well, an 8, but you rolled a natural 1 is what that's called. As Bossler is looking over you, a sudden vortex of black and blue swirls above your head, and suddenly a translucent, massive book slams shut around you. You will suddenly feel as though you are launched straight up into the air. The next moment, while flying, faster than you've ever moved before, there's just this pitting, sinking feeling, and all of a sudden you come to again, crashing into a room. Have Took make a dexterity save for me. Do you know how to do that? So instead of your character sheet, you open up Took. Okay, a 4. Not so great. So Took has never felt something like this before, and he attempts to kind of reverse the gravity to land better. His hand comes apart a bit, in this field of energy kind of hits, but it's not enough, and he comes crashing in to the floor there. Make on yourself, make a dexterity bonus or save for me, and this time you get to add your intelligence modifier. So add 5 to the roll. An 11. Okay. So Took is his first inclination is trying to catch you. He thinks you're about to splat, falling straight from the sky. He tries to catch you, does not manage. So he's on the ground, and you manage to land on him. Adjust yourself. Kind of a roll. You're still prone, flat on the ground, but it doesn't seem to hurt at all. And after stumbling into this room, being thrown through the sky, not sure what's going on, you look around you. And before you is this little blue and purple dragoon, like a little dragon monk, priest robes and everything, sitting in a bit of an altar, almost like a baby chair, just like suspended on top of a book. I was looking down at you with this smirk, and behind you, as you look around, are the rest of the people that you saw the night before, the heroes of Aeonce. You see Castiel, Quintetta, Clyron, Nairomi, and Arden all kind of there looking over you, and Took, who just kind of slammed into the floor there. And you hear the Rockford family has one of Only mechanical airships that can manage the cold temperatures of Barsuk. Welcome, Mr. Rockford. You hear the raspy old dragoon speak. Father Sid, I swear, I am not taking you out of that library again. You can't just gate people where you want them. Midas quickly kind of steps over and helps you to your feet, Marcus. I apologize, sir, but since you are here, the heroes of Aeonce could utilize your assistance.
Assistance with what? As I stand up and start brushing myself off, and Took tries to clean me off too, and being as strong as he is, not realizing.
He's
I
just kind of like pushing on you.
tell him to step back. I'm good, as he's like almost pushing me over. It's like, what the hell happened? Why am I even here? Who the hell are you? Like, what's going on?
Before anybody else can say anything, you just see Midas kind of like spidey senses looks up, and he's just like, "Dear creators, he was with Bossler when you gated him. I'm sorry, everybody. I have to take care of this before Bossler has the whole force of Justicar swarming down on Kine. You guys negotiate transportation and get to Barsuk. Make sure you're prepared before you go. I'll keep in touch." And before Midas finishes speaking, Father Sid teleports away. Midas quickly jumps through the same portal left behind by Father Sid, and it collapses behind him. It leaves Marcus, who just asked a great question. Why is he here? And the rest of you, what do you guys do?
You just interrupted a briefing.
I interrupted a briefing. I had no choice. I was brought here.
I suppose that makes you our ride.
Does
Your
it?
ride.
happen often?
Where are you guys even going?
This has happened often.
We're going to Barasuk. We were told that we would be using your airship.
Using my airship. My airship doesn't come for free, sweetheart. I'm a tradesman. I transport goods from one part of the world to the other.
Well, you got goods going to Barisuk?
As a matter of fact,